Screen says you're live. Yeah, I'm live TV. All right. My incense came from the store next to the Ganesha temple down the road. Ooh, a little bit of a yawn there. All right. So back at looking at the at the camera and not at me on the screen. Need my cushion actually for my back. So just get a little bit comfortable. I think it needs to happen. I might bring that down a bit because lots of upper stuff going up there. That's better. Okay. I already spoken a minute. I haven't said anything. Hi. Welcome to another video of Nick Star sharing stuff. And I think I just was like, what did I call this? How to heal your heart. I've been sitting here waiting for my maid, because yes, I have a maid, to leave because she comes in and out of my room. And she would freak out if she saw herself on the screen. Sweet little thing. She's not very little, but she's sweet. And she I can just hear her leaving out the front door now. Anyway, so I've been waiting patiently for her to leave so I can do this recording. And I've just been thinking about what will I call this? And the answer was how to heal your heart, which is a little bit leading, I think, once you watch the whole length of the video, you'll understand. So I'm going to I just got a flash on my screen, a message came through. I'm just gonna stop that. My phone's flicking over here as well. Being distracted by things on my screen. Anyway, focus on the task at hand. I'm going to start from the beginning of January. That's where we're going to start today. And I have shared this information with just a very small group of people. And initially, I had only had a handful of people. Well, maybe even not a handful of people, because it's very, very personal. And it was very, very intimate. And so unexpected little offering of gift arrived for me to work on. And here I am, ready to share it with you. And I'm waffling a little bit. Blah, 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 blah. Let's get on point. So when I came to India, I was going to go, and I'm going to give you the short story because otherwise we'll be here for hours, if not weeks. And if you wanted to know any more, you just message me and we can talk about it. But I'm just going to give you the outside story. I'm just going to give you the framework of what went down, and then you can get the gist, and then we can get the learning, and then we can get on with it. Because that is where all the magic is and my favorite bits. So when I came to India, I came because I was going to go and live in an ashram. And I felt very called to that, and it was divine and perfect and wonderful. So to go into the ashram, you have to have a full medical done. And full medical, we're going into the Navy SEALs, full medical, that takes all day. And the reason why you have to have the medical is for the purity to remain inside the ashram. You're actually checked for many diseases as well as personal health, and all of these things, because there particularly is a gurukul, which is the small children school, then they live there, and to ensure their purity is maintained and protected, anyone going in to live there need to have these tests done. And so that was all good and fine. We were completely jet lagged. All sorts of things had gone down, and I had to be at the ashram at 6 a.m. to go in a car with a few other people and head into the centre of town into a lab to get our test done. There's 8 people plus Leo plus driver in a car, very Indian, and we drove an hour or so and finally found the lab, went and got our blood test done because we had to do that fasting, and got blood test done, and then we had a chest x-ray done, and then we had an ECG done, and then we had to go out and eat so we could come back and test blood sugars and all of that. And then we had an ultrasound done, like a full ultrasound of checked ovaries and all sorts of things. And then we had chest ultrasound done, like a heart ultrasound done, which I'd never heard of. And then we were to go and do an echo stress test. And it was a very busy clinic and lots of people, and it was really, 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 really big, long, hard day. And Leo did amazing, and we were just completely jet lagged, and it was all very fascinating. Anyway, so that, I was thinking that I was like the premium health person, and I was really interested just to see how things were for all parts of me and all of that. So I expected great results. What happened is I got the shock of my life, but not. So I was coming down, the the home straight of the massive amounts of testing, and I was on the table getting my heart ultrasound done, and that was all good and fine and whatever, and the doctor was yelling out to the technician all the results and whatever. And then I got taken off the table, and I was due to go on to the echo next, which is just basically a walking machine that you walk on with all these plugs stuck onto you. And there was someone on the walking machine, there was someone sitting in the seat next to it, and then there was me, and they're like, just come and sit next to in this chair here, which was next to the desk where the woman was sitting typing all the stuff for the cardiologist. And she's like, oh, which country you come from? And, standard kind of Indian question, when you're a white person in any country really, and you're a foreigner. And so, but in particular in India, they always want to know where you come from and all sorts of things. Anyway, so I was just kind of chatting with her, and then someone come and put like a piece of paper down, and I looked down and it had my name on it, and I was like, oh, there's some of my test results. I'm so curious. I wonder what it is. So I was like looking down, doing these ones, and then I saw one word and it said prolapse, and I was like, the only prolapse I know is like a uterus, and I'm kind of like the jade egg queen, and I know I don't have a prolapse uterus, and so like, what can that possibly be? So I then decided to kind of like cough and just move around quite dramatically, and pushed the thing that was on top of it so I could read it properly, which was very efficient. And the woman next to me didn't know that I'd done such a clever move. She just went, oh my God, are you all right, love? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And I looked down and it said that I had a prolapse in one of my heart valves, and I'm like, wow, this is interesting. Keep you cool. And I was like, wow, that must mean I really do have a broken heart. Or maybe I just kind of blew my heart open a little bit too efficiently. What if I've got like heart disease and I need to go to, what am I going to do with, what about Leo? And then I was like, what if I die? Oh, well, that's all right, but okay, this is interesting. And she's just going blah, 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 blah. And then the person hopped off the walking machine, the next one. And they're like, okay, come and sit here now. And I'm just sitting there going, wow, this is fascinating. I don't even know what this means. I don't have a phone. I don't have Wi-Fi. I can't go to Dr. Google, God, and find out what the hell all of this means. So I guess I'll just sit here and see what happens and then get on the echo machine and do all that. And then I hopped on. They're like, okay, well, if you get out of breath or anything, then, you just tell us. And I'm like, I've just come from Canada where I was power walking 5Ks minimum a day. I was really, really fit. I'm pretty sure I can walk on your little walking machine. Why are they asking me these questions? And then they're like, okay, well, have you ever had any hypertension or heart issues or, any medication? You want any heart medication? I'm like, no. Like, the only thing I've ever had in my life is low blood pressure when I've been pregnant. I've always had perfect blood pressure. Is there something wrong? And she's like, no, the cardiologist will speak to you later. And I'm like, okay, I'll just keep walking. And so I just kept walking, and I'm just like, oh, isn't this interesting? This is so interesting. I get to keep my calm and just find out what this is all about, because I don't know. I've got a prolapse in my heart, in a valve. What does that even mean? Oh my God, my heart feels hilarious. Anyway, so I then went onto a trajectory, which insert 5,000 words that we're not going to go into because, like I said, otherwise we're going to be here forever. So that obviously led me down an opportunity to dive into the gift that my heart was offering me, because although I wasn't dying of heart disease, I certainly had a heart condition that needed my attention. It was strongly suggested I take some medicine, but I said, no, thank you. I'm going to see what my heart is trying to tell me. And I realized after much discussion that I had a lot of symptoms, and I had been experiencing these symptoms for a few years, but me being me just thought, oh, I haven't slept for more than 4 hours a night straight because I've been breastfeeding a giant, and I go pretty hard and I have massive energy running through me all the time. And the fact that I sigh deeply a lot is just like the majority of stuff I had going on, with 2 teenagers, a toddler, a zillion students, and Bali, and just sighing a lot was just my gig. And I used to see Leo doing it, and I thought, why are you doing that? And I realized he was mimicking me, and I'm like, why do I do it? And I'm just like, I don't know, just keep going and doing the next thing. But what it was that kind of anxiety feeling, like anxiety and overwhelm. But because my mind is so mastered, I'm just like, I feel like I'm having an anxiety attack, but my mind's like, well, there's nothing to be anxious about, so what's going on? But my body was trying really hard to communicate with me, but I just ignored it because I'm a hardcore motherfucker, and I just kept going, right? Well, things have changed, and I'm no longer said mother trucker. I'm a soft, loving, kind human of soul recognition, divine plan, great opportunity, heart lover. Anyway, and so I realized that I really needed to slow down and really start listening and not being a machine, because this was exactly what I taught. And so I was operating at it at one level, but not into the depths. And so obviously it was time for me to learn this. And so that's when the opportunity came. So I fully embraced it and got a little bit excited. And so I learned to rest, and I'd never done that before, and it was beautiful, and it felt quite self-indulgent for a while. Then I got really used to it and loved it, and really found some heaps of cool stuff on Netflix and knew that I was loving myself. I was really got deeply recommitted to my daily practice and started really becoming aware of intuitively what my body was wanting to be nourished what medicine it wanted. And so then I started, doing what one would think one would do. And that was healing my heart and sending it love and bringing in, high vibrational source energy into my wounded heart. And I realized through knowing that when one regenerates cells in one body, it does so at the state it's in. And so I thought, well, if I'm thinking that I'm sick, or if I'm thinking that there's something wrong, then every time I regenerate these cells, they're going to be the same. So I think I'm going to start regenerating cells that are really of optimum health and a whole lot of vitality. Vitality was this word that I was just like, yeah, I really am going to be vital, and that premium health thing that I've always wanted. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to start visualizing my heart as optimum health, as like pure vitality. And it kind of radiated this like light around it. It was really cool and really fun. And so then I started this practice where at night and any time during the day where I felt like it, I would go from the bottom of my feet, and because I realized like I'm not just going to like make an optimum healthy heart. Like I probably should do the whole gig, right? Because that makes sense. And so I just started like doing body scans and just focusing on parts of my body where I could feel sensations or blocks or whatever, and I would just come to them and I'd feel them and sense them as this pure vitality and pure health and just optimum health, and just would go on and just really bring focus to the heart and all of that. And I just, obviously soon began to believe it. I went and saw a cardiologist in March because I didn't quite understand what the tests were about, because it was all very much, you've got this is the medicine to fix it, it's in a pill, and I didn't get what I needed or wanted in my inquisitive mind. And Dr. Google gives you quite a lot of medical boxed in information as well. And so I Googled alternative heart people. And I found one that heals hearts with meditation and yoga. And I was like, oh, you're my kind of people. And so I went and saw them. And these cardiologists were like really cool. They all just came in, ooh, interesting white chick. Because it was in the office was where I was. It was in a very, very dense, small city, and they didn't get many touristy type people along there. And I had all my results and stuff, and they were like, I don't know, really inquisitive. And I told them, I asked them, and they gave me the insight into what was actually kind of going on with my heart and stuff. And I suggested to them that I was seeing it as healed and not that it needed healing. And they were quite fascinated by that. And we went into these great discussions of dialogue and stuff, and it's very cool. And, they didn't tell me anything new. They just told me stuff from a let's give you medication point of view. And it just was confirmation, if you like, of what I needed. Anyway, and so then the symptoms, not Bart and Elisa, but the symptoms, particularly, not being able to sleep on my left-hand side because the ache and the heaviness in my heart had eased, and I was enjoying lying on my left-hand side rather. And and the sighing had stopped, and the feelings of overwhelm that I just could ignore and all of that. And my vibration had completely slowed down. It hadn't lowered, it had slowed down. And that's the difference, because, I talk quite often to people about, let's slow down your vibration. And they hear lower your vibration. Why are you doing that? No, we're just slowing things down so we're not manic or busy. Slowing things down to come into this presence, into this state. So you become very, very present in the presence, pure, potent presence. Anyway, and so then I continued along and just did that and just didn't really think too much about it much more. I just continued with my daily practice. It became my normal, became my ceremony, life being the ceremony. And the other day, I was gifted another opportunity where I went to school and I thought that the next day was going to be a public holiday, but they said to me, 3-day weekend. No, 5-day weekend, 3 days off, plus the weekend, see you next Monday. And I'm like, I've got like a sadhana to prepare. I've got like a temple to go to. And I wanted to do all of that stuff by myself. And I've got all of these things to do. And now I've got a little Ganesha with me the whole time. No breaks, no quiet, no space. Okay, I see what you're doing. Okay, well, I'm going traveling again very, very soon. I've got things to do. I'm going to do lots of stuff on those days off that I need to be done. And one of them is go and see the cardiologist and have a checkup, because I was supposed to get a checkup 6 months after. Well, I'm supposed to get 6 monthly checkups forever, because that's what happens when you're enrolled as a full-time customer when you have a condition. So I'm enrolled in the 6-month checkup program in the medical industry. And so I was a little bit totally up for that, because curious, right? So I found a cardiologist and I made an appointment. Well, I kind of made an appointment. You just arrive at 7 p.m. and sit and wait your turn. Again, being very interesting looking, I went to go in first. Feeling really blessed. And then I showed him all my results and everything, and he's like, oh, okay, wow. And then he actually went through my results with a fine-tooth comb, which was nice, because everyone had been very focused on the heart stuff. And he's like, do you know that you have an underactive thyroid and that your reading is out of the normal range? And I went, no, I did not know that at all. Like, what the fuck? Wow. Okay. He's like, do you get tired? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what tired means, but I rest. And I don't think so. I feel tired, but I don't know. Not really. I rest. I don't feel tired. I just get tired because we're humans, right? I don't know. And he's like, all right, well, we need to test you for that as well. We need to do all your bloods for this, and we need to check out your heart and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, cool, let's do that. And he's like, go to the lab. I'm like, okay. So we went to the lab and did the tests and whatnot. And then we got the results. And so then I'm just trying to work out how to segue into this piece. So essentially what was found is I'm a super healer. You know, and people might say, well, that's no surprise. And I'm like, well, for me, it is, because I'm me and I've always lived with me. And I haven't always been like this. And sure, it was my intention to change the state of things were, but you never know, right? And I never am attached to the outcome. And I never, I accepted that I had a prolapsed heart and was willing to work with whatever it brought me, like whatever that was, and whether that was to die next week of a broken, busted, exploded heart, then so be it. Like, my outcome was not to heal my heart. My outcome was to work with this opportunity. But it appears I have healed my heart. So what happened is, heart's really good. Heart's really good, and can't understand how heart's so good without medication. Can't understand that I haven't had anything done to it. Can't understand that, like, you sure you didn't even get surgery done on it? Seems a bit of a miracle. To me, it's not a miracle. It's just what happens when you do, right? But that's not even the good stuff. Like, that's not even it. So what happened is, I then came home while I was waiting for my test results and stuff, and I did a little Googling and stuff on thyroid, which said, you shouldn't be eating what I call the curvaceous vegetables. And we know that actually is just the cruciferous. See, I don't even know. I'm not even willing to say crucified, cruciferous. They're curvaceous vegetables. And then I'm like, hold on. The medical medium has just done this whole thing on thyroids, and I'm just going to go and dive in there because that to me is where truth and alignment is. Anyway, and so what I realized is this big picture of thyroid, no, not thyroid, an artichoke on the front of it. And then I started reading everything, and then the thyroid diet. And then I was like, hold on. When I went and first did my big first shop after, I had all these results and I got my own place and all of that, I realized that I found the big artichoke section in the supermarket, and I was like drawn to it. Like, it was like I was compelled to. I mean, I like artichokes. I actually love them, but it was like quite manic, this desire to have artichokes, which is obviously my body intuitively telling me we need artichokes. And so, of course, I bought them and ate them and loved them. And I recognized that the diet that I'd been eating over the last, 5 months or so is very much geared to thyroid health. Anyway, and so my thyroid reading, which apparently thyroids don't change day to day, like it just is what it is, and then it changes as you have treatment or medication or heal your own thyroid and whatnot. So apparently I am now, in the perfect middle section of a normal range. And again, not quite sure how I achieved that in such a short time without any medicine or any intervention. But that's not even it. There's even more that has like totally blown my brains to bits. No, it hasn't blown my brains to bits because I don't have a blown apart brain. My mind, that's right, my mind, my little teensy mind, because my brain's perfect, vital, optimum health, right? So, therefore, what happened is the results showed in my evidence, science-based truth that I, Nicole Phoenix Star, past high-functioning alcoholic, has the liver of the highest, healthiest, optimum number ever of like the most healthiest 15-year-old child would have is my liver. My liver that I've drowned for so many years. And yeah, sure, it's been 5.5 years since I stopped drowning it. And sure, our cells regenerate and stuff. But I always had this belief system that my liver probably is a little bit smashed from a lot of attention sent to it from lots of consumption. But no, I have the most vital, the most optimum health liver possible. And that was the greatest gift I got from a series of my checkup. And now I have all these test results that are scientifically prove that me, not taking any medicine, but intuitively listening to what my body wants as its medicine, aka healthy food, and doing the process every single day of seeing myself in optimum health, of pure vitality, knowing that this is regenerating at the cellular level. The regeneration at that cellular level allows a quantum shift. And that, my friend, is how you heal your heart, how you heal your liver, how you heal your thyroid, how you heal anything and become anything you want. Like a super healer, which I just think is a wanky name anyway, because I don't think anything is broken or unhealed or anything like that. I think everything is just an opportunity, a lesson, a gift. And the greatest gift I was given this year is the knowledge that I had a hurting heart. And it was really hurting a lot. And I ignored it. And I was ignoring me. Whoa. And so over the last 7 months, I have taken a journey into my heart. And I have loved me. Like there's no one in the world that could possibly love me because no one knows me and no one knows what I need, and the external is never the answer. But I love me the way that I needed. And I loved my heart for the gift it gave me. And as a consequence now, it is beating beautifully and perfectly and lovingly and keeping this human journey I have going. And I get to stay here and be here with you. So, what I want you to do is start seeing you in optimum health. And start bringing into your daily practice this practice and using words that are truly resonant for you. For me, vitality is massive. For you, it may be something else. But I want you to start not seeing yourself, because you never know, not seeing yourself as sick, unhealthy, blah, 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 whatever the story is. I can't even make up a story. To see you as the pure divinity that you are, and to saturating yourself on a cellular level, because that's the mastery, my dear. That is the mastery of the mind, body, and spirit. This body is so important. It contains our soul. And it's the journey of mastery. Belief, faith, trust, love. I've learnt truly how to love myself and what that means. And I really, truly see myself as pure divinity. There's no separation. My love for God, my love for me. I thought I was there, and hey, here's an opportunity for you to go a little deeper and to get a little bit more. Bring it on. So your task from here is to start this practice. Optimum health. For me, the greatest wealth I have is my health. And I believe that if you have wealth, have health as the number one value in your wealth, then all the rest will just line up. So I'm going to leave it there. I never know how long I've been talking. 34 minutes and 14 seconds. Thank you for sharing this journey with me. I love you. I really do. And thank you for being you. You are so worth it.